Hello, I'm Professor Tom Wolf. This is the second in a series of videos on Java Swing Graphical User Interface Programming. We're going to continue with our simple Hello GUI program that we did in the first video. I'm going to add a JPanel to the program. It's common to use JPanels to organize the widgets that form our GUI, those J components that we're using. And then I'll show you how to use a font to set the font on the label. And we'll show how to set the color for the font as well, and we'll talk a little bit about how color works. Alright. So I'm back in NetBeans. This is our application that we did last time. We're using JFrame and JLabel. And we create a frame which has a title of Hello GUI. And then we go ahead and create the label Hello Java Swing GUI. We add the label to the frame, we set the dimensions of the frame, we set the default close operation, and we set the frame to be visible. And here's what it looks like. Again, I did all this in the previous video here. I just want to review that real quickly. And there's our Java GUI up there in the corner. Let me pull it down so it's into the... There you go. So you can see Hello GUI. Again, it's totally resizable. There's the label. And we can min-max it or we can close it. And because we set that default close operation, when we close it, that ends our program. That's important. So we'll do that every time. Okay, it's real common to use JPanels to organize the widgets. So let's go ahead and add a JPanel. And the way this will work is we'll add our components to our JPanel and then add our JPanel to the frame. So I'll stick that right in here. JPanel. And we'll just call it panel because we only have one. Equals new JPanel. And there's no initialization data here. So this is just empty parens. And there we go. And then Control-Shift-I will insert the import library we need. And you can see those are all from the JavaX Swing. So each one of these components has a library that defines it. Okay, let's come down now. So here we're adding the label directly to the frame. Instead, we're going to add the panel to the frame. And we're going to add the label to the panel. So panel.add label. And there we go. So that should work. Let's go ahead and just run this and see. And one difference is that the panel will center the label just by default. And let's see, here we go. It's run a little slow, it seems, today. There we go. So you can see it's centered now, and again, I can move it around, and then, let me pull it down. Resize it in either direction, again, and then just close it to end the program. Okay. Now it's not immediately clear why we gained from that other than centering it, but you're going to see that when we create more complicated interfaces, we don't add things directly to the frame. We add them to panels, and in fact we'll have multiple panels in the frame. Pardon me. Okay, let's make our label a little bit cooler by playing around with the font. So I'm going to go ahead and create a font object. Now, because I'm only using this one time, I don't really have to create a named variable here. So I'm going to use a Java syntax which basically creates an anonymous object and passes it to where it needs to be used. So we're going to say label dot, oops. Let's see, let me do this up here. I just like to organize the code a little bit better. So here I'm creating the label. Now I'm about to do something to manipulate the label, and I'll put that code right here. This is kind of like configuring the label, really. That's why I'm grouping the code like that. So label dot, and it should be set font. Let's see. Whoops, that'll be a capital F. There we go. Here it is. Now, here's where we'll create the inline font. So new font. And of course, because I looked it up, I know the parameters. So the first parameter is a string, which is the name of the font face. And I like this Comic Sans MS. It's kind of like a cartoon font. And then the next part of this is going to be a symbolic constant to indicate the style. And here, this is a list of this. So there's all kinds of things here. If you just want plain, then you'd go ahead and use the plain here. And then there's bold. There's a lot of other choices. I don't know what all this stuff is, but you can explore that. Mainly what we want to know is the basics: bold, italic, plain. You can get monospaced if you're doing some sort of computer display like code. Yeah, that should be enough. Okay, so what I want here is plain. And one good thing about here is you don't have to guess about how to spell it or anything. You can just select it and it'll pop right up. So sure love IntelliSense. Okay, the last parameter is the size, and this is in points. And so I'm going to try 24 here. I might change that and make that larger. Alright, so basically we've just modified the label, and that doesn't change the logic of the program. So whatever we do with the label, we still add it to the panel and then add that to the frame. Oop, lost my mouse there. Here we go. Let's run this now. And there we go. Hello Java Swing GUI. I want to put an exclamation point in there. Let me close this. I think that'll look a little cooler. And I'd sort of like this to be italic instead of plain. Okay, whoops, that's got to be all caps. Alright, and now I'm going to go ahead and add a color to this too. So basically I'm going to set the color on the label. So label dot set, I think that's foreground. Yes, there it is. Okay, now it's asking for a Java color here. I can use a named color, and these are in the color library in several ways. So you can have color dash yellow, you can have yellow all capitalized. They have basically all the basic colors. Oh, that made a lot of sense. They have the basic colors. They also do RGB colors. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a random color here. And no, I don't need to do that. I'll do that in a minute. Okay, let's just go ahead and make it red. And I'll use the alternative. Is that right? Yeah, I think that's right. Well, maybe I'll make it all lowercase here. It seems like it wants that. Oh, it doesn't care. Okay. I think those can be either upper or lowercase. Alright. Yeah, I'll come and do the random color and something else here directly. So there you go. You can see I have the italic and I have red text here. Again, we'll close this. And basically the alternative way to do the color is you pass in the RGB values as integers. So for instance, if I wanted to do blue, this is going to be 0 for the whoops, there we go, 0 for the red, 0 for the green, and 256. Oops, oh sorry. This needs to be color, obviously, right? It's a new color. There we go. So that should set it to blue using our RGB hex. You might be able to use the alpha with this too. That'd be kind of interesting. Whoops, it doesn't like that. What's going on here? Outside of expected range. Well, let's see. So I thought these were RGB pixel values from 0 to 256, but they're not. They're percents. So here I have 0 red, 0 green, and 100% blue, which makes the color blue. So now if we go in here, you can see I've got the blue there. It's kind of interesting the way it's truncated there. I don't know what's causing that. Let's see if we go full screen. Yeah, it's still cut off. It's interesting. Okay, that's good enough for this video. And when we come back, we're going to restructure our application in a little bit more complicated way, so we'll be able to do more. All right, take care.